Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. The 9th of July, 2023. Sunday. Used to mean something. Sundays, everything was closed. Go to church. Now even the churches are closed. Throwing rainbow flag over crucifix, Pride Month. Quarter of the country truly knows what's going on. Half the country is seems brain dead. Just following the orders they're given. Never questioning the orders. In the other quarter of the country, refuses to admit that there are serious issues. You've got a president that is, well, let's call it what it is. He ain't there. Mike Pence last week, he said he was disappointed in the direction the country's going, and how bad our economy is, and how bad job numbers are. And somebody in the audience had the guts to say, it was your vote that put him there. All you had to do was say, I'm not certifying this election. That's all you had to do. And yeah, the country would have been upset. And California and Oregon and Washington State was seceded. What do they do? What does California bring us? Seriously. What do they bring us? They bring us nothing. All the best companies have moved out of California. Right? Tesla moved to Texas. Most of the superconductor chip manufacturers moved to New Mexico and Arizona. California brings us its billion plus, or hundreds of billions of dollars plus of debt into the fold. Oregon and Washington State, they bring you Antifa. They bring you people like Pramila Jayapal, who are overt socialists. Left-wing city council members that are filled with hate for anybody but themselves. And you have folks like me who sit back and we try to make sense of this. So you know, why are we giving California any money? Why are we helping them federally? Well, Trump had some great plans. He was going to cut their funding if they stayed sanctuary state. Don't ask permission, just do it. If you're bringing in hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of criminal trespassers, and you're giving them status, your electoral college votes no longer matter. And I'm tired of hearing these people, all these folks out there, especially the boomers, that say that we need people to pick the crops. What are you fucking talking about? Get off your lazy ass and get a job. Go pick crops. I don't care how hard it is. If I could get to a crop producing state, I would gladly go pick crops for $7 an hour. Give me a place to set up a tent. Enough money to feed myself. Enough money to keep my car on the road. And I'm fine with it. What are we doing? And we're importing labor. And while we're importing this labor, we're importing the scum that comes with it. The wife beaters, the alcoholics, the drug abusers, the drug traffickers, the human traffickers, the pedophiles. All of it coming right into your country. Unchecked, unvetted, and no one seems to care. I don't know why you folks don't care. I don't understand why you folks don't care. Why don't you care? And then you realize that you don't care because you think that you're going to be saved because you have private security that's paid for by us. Gavin Newsom, he's got 8 bodyguards carrying MAC-10s. If that doesn't scream dictator, I don't know what does. Your country is gone. I know you don't want to hear that. And there's a few reasons why your country is gone. And a lot of it has to do with the generation after the silent generation. The folks that were told they were entitled, that they were special. You're not special. You're not entitled to anything. I'm not entitled to a good deal on a car. I'm not entitled to a place to live. You're not entitled to any of that. And what are we doing? Oh, I'm entitled to this. No, you're not. They ended affirmative action. People went nuts. You had a woman Some woman, I guess she's a reporter, saying that without affirmative action, black people will not be able to survive in a merit-based system. How racist is that? How racist is that? Not a word was said about it. You had a trans shooter in Philadelphia over the 4th of July weekend shoot up a block party. And we're being told by the leaders of the LGBTQ plus community and BLM that negative coverage of the trans shooter is violence against that trans shooter. Violence. I thought the act of shooting multiple people in cold blood was violence. Now all of a sudden, us saying, hey, look, this person may have been mentally unstable and they had access to a weapon. It's not that they may have been mentally unstable. They are mentally unstable because they believe in their head that somehow a man is a woman. But we won't discuss it. We will keep our blinders on and our fingers in our ears. It's not violence to point out somebody is out of their mind and they need to be in a home. You wouldn't have this issue in New York with this former Marine. Well, can't really say former Marine because once a Marine, always a Marine. Hoorah. You can't blame him for subduing a man who was threatening women and children on a train in New York. Is it unfortunate that this mentally unstable man was lost his life? Yes. It is very tragic. He wouldn't have lost his life if New York, the city, the state, and the county, had a system in place to help the mentally disabled or the mentally unstable. And they used to. But you see, all you folks in 1986 that said, the Liability Protection Act's a good thing. It's going to protect us from, we're not going to be liable for things that the country does worldwide. That's how it was sold to you. That's how it was packaged to you. Did anybody read the bill? Did anybody read the bill? And the answer is no. Liability Protection Act protected the government from you, protected their investors from you, protected the pharmaceutical companies from you. And by the way, it also shut down all federal mental health facilities. And these people that were in these homes because they were mentally unstable and they were a danger to the community and themselves ended up back on the streets. And they went and met up with other mentally unstable people with genetic mental problems caused by environmental chemicals. And they made babies. And those babies grew up to be people like Joseph Rosenbaum. Okay? Those people grew up to be like Joseph Rosenbaum and all these Antifa members who were not loved by their families, who were despised by their parents, by their parent. And now look where we are. You are beyond. They said, oh, the nuclear clock is moved up. It's only 30 seconds to midnight. Your country's 40 hours past midnight, ladies and gentlemen. It's over. It's over. A mailman was just robbed and beaten in West Orange, New Jersey. For what? The possibility he might have been carrying a check or two? You might have had an expensive phone being shipped to somebody's house. Really? Okay. You've let your country go, ladies and gentlemen, and I am embarrassed by my country. I'm embarrassed by her people. There are very few people left in this country that care about it. And by the way, we're not a democracy. We're a constitutional republic. Liberty is the most important thing. I don't see the inner city getting liberty. I don't see Baltimore, Maryland getting any liberty. I don't see Philly getting any liberty. Detroit, Flint, Michigan. Something needs to change in this country, ladies and gentlemen. And by the way, all you folks out there saying, we're going to take it all back in 2024. No, you're not. Because the minute the banks close, and they're going to, there's going to be an uprising. That uprising is going to be quelled by FEMA enacting its policies. And you're going to have 10 sections of this country. And you're going to have 5 governors, or 10 governors, that lead these 5 countries, or these 10 sections. Folks in FEMA Region 2, and FEMA Region 6, you guys are going to be the ones that are hammered the hardest. Believe you me. And if they can't quell it that way, they're going to quell it with the United Nations. Either way, you're not going to have an election in 2024. Ladies and gentlemen, God bless and Godspeed. This is just one guy ranting on the internet. You enjoy.